Before I get into today's video, I want to give a huge shout out to my first official Patreon supporter, Mr. Jerry Livingston. He was actually my 18th YouTube subscriber, and he has commented and liked on every video since the very beginning. So Mr. Jerry, thank you. And if you guys would like to support this channel, please visit patreon.com/the Shepherdess. And if you can't be a Patreon supporter at this time, just please keep liking, keep commenting, because those are really fuel for my fire. So now let's get to how we rebonded a rejected lamb and how we cared for a little bit of a weak lamb that came on pasture. Alright, Shepherdess at Harmony Farms here. There was so much water last night. Thunderstorming all night. Continued even after lambs were born. Letting all the ladies out this morning. Checking up on the twins. See how they're doing. So they're looking great this morning. The ladies on this side are bad-mouthing me because they want me to open up and get them back out to pasture, so I'm gonna do that. Come on, sheep! I think we probably got 4 or 6 inches. How many do you think we got inches-wise last night? 4 or 6? Probably 4 or 6 at the minimum. Puddled all over the ground, but this particular pasture is good because it's a little higher and it's got a bit of a slope to it, so it doesn't puddle as badly as the ones over there. So it's good to have them in here for the rain. Okay. How's the chicken jacket going for that one?
It's going pretty good. She's keeping it on.
She's keeping it on?
Yeah, she's keeping it on. I think it's protecting her back. Okay. I gotta check on her back and make sure she's growing her feathers back. But
so she's just getting picked on a little bit?
Yeah.
These are your breeding stock?
Yes.
We're already taking orders for these.
I'm gonna grow it out a little bit, so I'm going to add to this group, start getting my volume going, and then I'm gonna start selling.
Yeah, that's good. So this was something I was kind of seeing last night, and I didn't pay much attention to it. I just thought that this mom was getting her bearings, gonna get this lamb. There's two rams in here, and one has some really unusual markings, and she's kicking him off. She's not letting him nurse. And so what I did last night was that I was kind of concerned about it. So what I did last night was I just gave him about half of a shot of this colostrum. I didn't know at that time whether he would actually need it or not. I just kind of did it for more peace of mind on my side to make sure he got through the night. Well, we're here in the morning and it looks like mom is still not loving him. So I'm gonna give him some more time, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna feed, oh, Yeah, she's pushing away. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and feed the rest of this colostrum shot. I wanna give him the full 24 hours, see if the mom will take him after all. Doesn't really look like he's gonna have her mom. But gonna feed him the rest of this so he'll have what he needs for at least the 24 hours.
You got a dirty face. I want more. Alright.
Whitey, say hi to the YouTube family, Whitey. Why do I keep naming these things? I already have shrimp and now I have Whitey. Oh my goodness, this is gonna be hard. Say hi. Okay. Say hi. So I'm getting Shrimp his vitamins, been giving him a shot of Nutri-Drench every day since he was born, which is he's only on day 3 right now. Gave it to him right after he was born. He got up on his feet, and then just 2 pumps every day since then. He has a little bit of eye gunk. I think I poked him in the eye on his way out, and just watching that, and these vitamins should help his immune system to have what it needs to kind of heal on that front. So in the mornings I will come out and count the lambs, and at night I'll come out and count the lambs just to make sure that they're all with the flock. And he did okay last night, like he was running around with his mom last night, but this morning I couldn't find him, and I was pacing the pasture, kind of sick in my stomach, expecting to see him gone somewhere. He's right down here. But anyways, I found him over by this wood pile. Just, he wasn't calling back to his mom. He wasn't, hey little guy. Shrimp. He wasn't calling back to his mom. He wasn't responding. No, you weren't. You were taking a nap. But he's nursing okay. I mean, he'll get up and he'll butt her. He'll nurse. But we're gonna work with him and do everything we can. So I made a couple of adjustments for sake of my sanity during the remainder of lambing. Number 1 is I restarted them on this 7-acre pasture in order so that they could be closer to the corral. Now we have a covered shed, you guys have seen it before, and it allows me to open up and usher the moms and lambs in at night, and I feel like that's really important with the brand new lambs. So I reset, moved them back up to the front of this pasture so that they have access to that shed. If I was to follow my regular protocol, they'd be up close to the highway right now, but I made a bit of a compromise on my pasture management to really make the best decision for lambing, and so they are in a paddock right now close to the corral. We've already had to use it a ton, and it's been raining, and there's no way I'm really going to leave the lambs out in a rainstorm at just 24 hours old. You know, they need probably 2 weeks under them before I feel good about leaving them under a tree during a rainstorm. So that's number 1, and number 2 is that I have made the paddocks a lot larger, and I have adjusted down to a once every 3-day move. So the reason for this being is that I read in a book that sheep lamb within the flock, no problem. They don't need to have their own space. Well, I've observed that my ewes really isolate themselves during labor, and they do better when they can have a really far removed spot. So the 24-hour paddocks that I was running didn't necessarily give them that space to do that on pasture. So I made 3-day paddocks, and so it's 3 times bigger, and it gives any ewe that needs to go into labor the space to do that comfortably without having, you know, being back to back with another one. So those are 2 adjustments I've made based on observation and just need, and they've been adjustments to my pasture management plan in order to do the best for lambing. Another reason I chose to move them to this particular spot on pasture is I can literally see everything that's going on out my back door, and I can check on them every 2 minutes if I needed to. Whereas if they were farther up the pasture, I'd have to make quite a walk to actually get, you know, a first-hand look at what's going on. So it just brings a lot more peace of mind to have them in this particular spot, and I'm going to be remembering it for future seasons just to make sure to have them moved, you know, with all of these factors in mind for future lambings. I mean, I've been kind of stressed out in this particular season, but I realized once I made these alterations, which was making sure they were close to the shed to where they could get covered if they needed to, making sure they were in eyesight of my main residence so I could check on them whenever I needed to, and making sure that they had a bigger space overall in case they need to go into a corner and lamb. Those 3 things have really helped my stress levels, and they've also kind of played out to be extremely useful for the good of the animals as well. So they hit this phase where they just all start playing together, like a week to 10 days in, and they all just start running in a pack, like a little bit of a lampede, and they'll run back and forth all over the pasture all day, and it's just the funniest thing to watch. But I was excited because even Shrimp is now getting in the game. He's starting to get his 3-day energy on, so he's the tiniest of all of them, but he's getting in there and playing. I think we're at right at half of my ewes have had their lambs so far, and it is the year of the ram because 2/3 are rams and 1/3 are ewes. My goal overall was to increase flock size by 8 ewes. Hasn't happened yet. With half not gone yet, I'm still holding out hope. But I was telling myself, rams are cash flow, ewes are flock growth. So either way, I'm really happy. I'll have a bit of pasture raised meat to sell, in addition to a few breeder rams. There are a couple in this group with really dynamic features and really dynamic moms and dad side. So I'll make excellent breeders in the Dorper gene pool. So I'll be selling those ones as such. And then all sales will happen at about 5 months for the breeders. And then for the pasture raised meat, it'll probably happen around September or October. In the past, we have processed at the September or October after they've been born. And in that, we have to sacrifice a little bit of meat, but the cost of overwintering them is not there. So it makes up for it on that front. But I may try with just a few, just as an experimental, to get them to that almost 1 year and process them in spring for a lamb market in spring. So we'll see. It's all going to be part of the process of figuring out what works and how best to sell these guys. So I'm excited. Maybe shopshepherdess.com will have pasture raised meat available for sale soon, so be watching.